to resume. Where did that come from? So resuming the signs for August. Now we're doing with Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. So we'll go with Kitty first. Leo up first. And for reference, that is the deck I'm using. Gracia, Tarot, and Darkness. A deck that is not really intended for fresh meat to use. It's not beginner friendly. Alright, without further ado, what is the kind of spread I'm going to use for Leo? Of course, I go with the most elaborate one. Hi, Kayla. Go from reading in between the line with August to here, my friend. Yeah. Oh, by the way, for giggles. Remember, Argus can actually help you learn the languages of the astral world. And also, it can teach you how to communicate with nature by sound. Mm-hmm. And of course, at a very... I thought I saw you yesterday. Did I see you yesterday or the last time you were live? Unless it was like a short live, but yeah, so after when I'm finished with Scorpio, I'll be talking about one of the techniques I actually use for remedial procedures if somebody's having a pain in a certain spot of the body. Well, all that I'm doing is I'm just regurgitating everything that my mentor put in my head. So you can thank Mr. Russell for that. Hmm. Pretty much you can say it like my channel's like a box of chocolates, except not having a sugar overkill overload. Oh well. Long time no see, it was like a day. Oh well. I'll have you know, that was a long 24-hour period. Why did this thing just get darker? Hold on. Okay, now I look blue. Alright, kicking it off with Leo. Core focus this month. It is Bethan, Ten of Pentacles, Venus and Gemini. So the focus of this month is to pretty much enjoy in the gains that you're getting this month. Isn't it also your birth month, Leo? I think it is. So yeah, looks like it's time to really enjoy your gifts this month. And because also Venus and Gemini is also being hinted at, that kind of shows that possibly you might be attracted to more communication styles that are more more sociable. Like you're gonna be drawn to people that are more sociable. And also you might actually be inspired to speak in more creative ways or communicate in more creative ways. Or you also might be talking to females a lot more than you usually do. I don't know, I'm just going with what's on top of my head. But primarily, it's really the month to enjoy all that you gained and revel in it. I know your limits. Know that enough's enough at one point, and time to throw in the towel when the time's right. On top of your head or the earth sector, finances, wealth, security, health, everyday endeavors. We have Malthus, the tower, Mercury in Libra. Usually the tower card is the card of like, oh snap. But I'm not getting that with this pull. I'm getting with this is that make sure that your sense of security, your wealth, your gains are protected this month, and to make sure that they're not going out, out the window recklessly. If you have savings piled up, Keep them stockpiling. Don't be like, okay, we have plenty of savings. We can waste a little bit of it. No, don't do that. Don't do that. And if you're actually facing a health condition, expect it to just somehow magically just get thrown out the window. Just like, oh, well, remember that health condition that you were struggling with? Yeah, well, it's just gone. Happy birthday to you. Health condition gets thrown out the window. Just go with it. Nod your head. There you go. But I don't want to hear anything else. I don't care if it's a terminal illness. It's done. It's thrown out the window. Go with it. And if you're also expecting a windfall of some kind of gain, of like financial gain, it might just come in a way that you don't expect it. So be prepared for that. Communications, interactions with other people, studying a new subject, or endeavors involving the air or wind element. Oh, hi. Hi, Andres. We have Moon in Aquarius, which is my placement. And the Knight of Wands, Andres. Oh, okay. Hi, Andres. It's so nice to see you again. And if you happen to not know who Andres is, usually Andres was actually has the reputation of essentially if if somebody who was actually like doing the step-by-step procedure to actually e- evoke him into the space, if they had assistants, those assistants better have a strong will because if they make the wrong will, well, Andres just makes them kick a bucket. Yeah, Andres is known to, give careless magicians the game over screen if you're not careful. So when it comes to communications for this month, I'm gonna have to just go with how Andres is just looking at me, just like, okay. This month, don't be afraid of, kind of quote unquote fire a warning shot. Like if something needs to be said, just just let it out. Put put your needs out first. If somebody or something is disrespecting your boundary, well, just shoot a bullet up in the air. Metaphorically, don't actually do it. Let it know that you're not going to be putting up with any kind of BS shenanigans. And also, it's also being suggested to possibly take up learning a type of martial arts. I'm getting that with Andres. Specifically involving knife defense. I don't know why that just popped up, just go with it. And also learning how to pretty much use words in a more intimidating way. I don't know, I'm just going with what Andres is doing. He's looking me right in the face, just like, oh boy. So now, obstacle or the motivating force? Oh, oh, this is just so grand. Uh, why is it funny? Because you're here, Gentilian. Oh, make me. Obstacle or the motivating force? The High Priestess, Venus in Pisces, which is the exaltation position. And it's the, ever so comical and bright Dentalian. Obstacle. The obstacle this week is that you might be try to understand many things on a more deeper level, and it actually might turn out to hinder you. Instead, as for the motivating force, it's better to just actually see things for face value and to just be more engaged with somebody on like the most simplistic level. Like if you're interacting with somebody and you're trying to like figure them out and understand them, don't. This month instead, just interact with them on the basic 3D level. Don't try and pick at their brain and be like, so why do you think like this? Is it because of this? Is it because of that? No. And because it's also Venus in Pisces, also the motivating force is actually kind of give you a good love tap in trying to understand how to actually love and accept someone regardless of whatever good, bad drivel they have. And now the emotional woozy woo part. That's when you get your flowers out and be like, does he love me? Does he love me not? Or whichever. I don't know, I don't watch fairy tales, at least not anymore. For the wet sector. That sounds so bad. Wet sector, we have Marquesas. Moon in Virgo, the Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. So in terms of spirituality, you actually might be getting closer to divinity this month. And if you're actually trying to, say for an example, wanting to go on a nice stroll, like through the woods, or any kind of exploration that is in solitude, like meditation and exploring the subconscious, you actually have a-okay, like, yep, this is a good month to do it. And since it's also the Nine of Cups, there actually might be discovering something that you've been longing for is actually right in front of your face. And if you're having a love interest in mind, this can actually be a sign that you have actually encountered somebody who is loyal like a dog and is always going to stick by you no matter what. And since it's Moon in Virgo, this individual is actually going to be so intently focused on perfecting everything around you because their mental stability comes by having everything around perfected. If you're already currently with someone, this could actually be an indication that possibly this might be a good month to actually start spending more time with your pets if you happen to have any. And suggest a course of action for this month. It is Horus, Justice, Venus in Aquarius. So for this month, make sure you give every aspect of your life equal time and try and balance it out between everything. Don't give something all your attention, like your pet. Don't give your pet all the attention, because if you forget about your everyday living, that's when the tower is going to go face plant. And also don't forget to stand up for yourself with the Andres to the left, actually to the right. And also to make sure you understand that sometimes it's best just to see somebody eye to eye and accept them for how they are. Don't try and pick at their brain, just accept them as they are. But other than that, I mean, it looks nice. Especially that Nine of Cups with that Moon in Virgo. I mean, you have a individual or a pet that is very fixated in trying to make your sense of stability grounded. I can't complain. But again, hey, Ilios. The only thing I've got to be careful of is with the communication sector in the studies. Be careful with Andres because, yeah, he can kind of, get people game over screens. Just be careful with that. Other than that, looks nice. Nice for Leo. Next up is Virgo. Let's see what we have coming up for Virgo. Same spread, fine. Current standing for Virgo, the focus of the month of August. Oh, interesting. Mm. So Virgo, your focus for this month is Seven of Cups. And we have Countess Vapula, Venus in Capricorn. So this month, Virgo, it is being heavily advised for you to actually focus primarily on strengthening your third eye. Because if you notice how Vapula is looking, yeah, she's looking like towards her third eye. See all the eyes going up one direction? Yeah. So this is a month to focus primarily honing your psychic ability and your psychic skills and trying to expand on the talents you already have in that department. That should be your focus point, and that's pretty much all that I'm getting. That's all I'm getting out of that. Hone your psychic abilities, your intuitive skills, especially if you happen to be like if you're in water. That's the most ideal time to start honing your skills. Now regarding the everyday mundane living, 3D, money, bills, health, all that. We have Semes, the Chariot, Moon in Aquarius. So when it comes to Earth sector, well, for health, you have the drive to go face first and run over anything that's in your way. If you're trying to go towards, like, saying a new line of work, you have the tools and you have the potential to go face first and pretty much just steamroll the opposition. And because with this depiction, I just have to point this out. Because he is armed with a spear and a shield, and that thing is quite long. Don't think like that, you nasty. You most definitely have the upper hand in kind of securing this endeavor. So full speed ahead. Don't be afraid if you poke someone's eye out. It's their fault for getting in the way. I'm not lying. Now, communications, interaction with others, and probably even learning a new subject. Let's see what comes out. Oh, that's nasty. Okay, well, that's going to get a little bit nasty. No, really. So, communication sector and learning a new subject or interactions with other people and expanding like in a certain subject. We have Bifrons, Two of Cups, Mars and Scorpio. You kind of can tell me what that looks like. Yeah, that's nasty. So Virgo, this is probably the month to test out your woozy woo skills. Just take it and go with it, okay? I don't draw the artwork, okay? And I mean, this actually might be an ideal time to actually consider, stepping up the seduce game. Just go with it, okay? It's funny, but still. But also, since I'm seeing this as, like there's a figure kind of intoxicating the other person by like pouring whatever the heck's in that cup down his throat, try your best to not, overkill it with your seduction this month. Woozy woo responsibly. I don't know why I got this. This is also a good month to also consider revisiting, like doing love magic, lust magic, you know, that kind of nasty magic. Might be good to actually revisit that if you happen to practice that. If not, well then, alright then. Then just practice your seduce skills. Just don't get woozy wooed by someone. Be a bit of a challenge. I have no idea what I'm going with. Just go with it. Obstacle or the motivating force for Virgo? We have the Six of Pentacles, Venus and Libra, Multigrown placement. Obstacle? For this depiction, the obstacle could be having the challenge to understand that sometimes you gotta stay perfectly still. And as much as you want to save the poor soul down there, nope, don't move. You have to put yourself first. And the motivating force is like, well, don't be like him. Don't be like a dimwit who's like, well, he didn't hold on, but luckily I'm holding on. So make sure you're putting your needs first. And as much as you want to go out and assist somebody who is about to, get a game over screen by going underwater for too long, you have to put your needs first always. If you're okay, then you can help. But in this kind of a situation, you're stuck between drowning and holding on for dear life. Hold on for dear life. Because if you're not well, nothing else matters. Now regarding the emotion side, the that woozy side, we have oh, that's gonna be a loud one. For emotional sector, we have he who carries a big stick, the King of Wands, King Baal, Sun and Aries. So when it comes to the emotion sector, you actually might be putting yourself out there, be like, hey, I'm confident. Mm-hmm. You know who I is. Yes, I'm a king, queen, whatever the heck you want to go with. And you actually might be getting a lot of attention drawn to you, like, well, dang. Talk about having a lot of, you know, zest. But then again, of course, right across the way, we have this going on. The seducing happening. And then we have, oh, when I speak, everything shakes. And that's how the seduction happens. So with this, you have the potential to actually possibly even captivate somebody by just your force of will. And just because of the tone that you express, get that thing out in between your legs, dude, because getting real tired of that thing. Ugh, so obnoxious. But if you're currently with somebody, this actually might be, this thing sounds so awkward, but go with it. If you're currently with someone, this actually might be the time to kind of, have some quote unquote fun and be like, okay, my turn to be king of the castle. I'm giving you ideas, okay? Just take it. And specifically, if you happen to be with somebody who has an Aries sun, they actually might be trying to think that they're, all that, if you catch my drift. Let them have their day of like power, and then after that, be like, okay, back to being balanced and whatever. And if you're also, I don't know why this popped in my head. If you're happening to be combating some kind of entity that's trying to make it be all like, oh, I'm just gonna waltz in here and do whatever I want. No, not really. Let the King Baal come through and be like, excuse me, why are you in my house causing a hot mess? I could do what I nope, you can't. Get out of my house. But I could do nope. King Baal has spoken. Off with you before you get this giant, twig up your tush. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do to get, trespassing fiends out of your space. And now suggest a course of action for Virgo. Oh, that's beautiful. And I watch everybody be like, oh, what is it? Well, usually people will be like, wait a minute, how's that good? So, Virgo, your advice this month is Lucifer, the devil. How's that good? Shh. Listen, your advice this month is to actually use this month to actually plan out a wish you want. Write it out, get detailed, be specific. Because if you be specific and then you ask Lucifer here, if you give him exactly what you want, be as precise as you want, he'll give it to you quicker than you think. Because he wants you to enjoy this life and not suffer. And besides, the devil? Yeah, the devil is all about enjoying the 3D physical senses around you. Live life, live it hard, practically. Enjoy. Because once you enjoy all the senses and experience what you want to experience, that's when you can actually approach divinity with pure focus. So this month, enjoy it, while also improving your psychic skills. The only thing, again, make sure you take care of yourself and you don't, put yourself in a situation where you might be crippling yourself. And don't be afraid to, turn up the level of, did I mention it's mating season? wording, word choice. Don't be afraid to turn up that game. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Someone would be like, well, that's kind of dirty. That you're just new here with it. But other than that, yeah, it looks good, Virgo. The only other spot that I would also look out for the everyday mundane with the chariot, make sure you don't overkill it by going over, the suggested speed limit. Work together with those that are actually, like, say, if you're on a work team, make sure you all work together as a unit and not have one of you go one way, then another one of you go the other way, and then the supervisor gets, split in two. That would not be the most ideal. All right, next up is Libra. Oh boy, I'm reading myself now. Let's humiliate myself now. Oh boy. So what can be said about the inanimate object of the zodiac belt? The thing that just sits there and, goes up, goes down, and doesn't say a word because it's an object. Let's see what we get. Core focus for Libra. Yeah. Oh boy. Core focus is the Ace of Twigs. So supposedly Libra, your focus is to carry a big stick and speak as loud as you can with it, being like, "You see this stick? I know how to work this thing. Don't make me, poke you with it." No. In other words, this month you have an inner flame that's really wanting to be let out. So let it out. Let that fire, that inner flame, go rampant. But don't, burn down everything because that's letting it flame too much. And we don't want things to become overkill flamboyant because that's not how things are supposed to be. For the mundane, everyday Earth sector, wealth, finances, security, health. Oh, hi, Hagante. It's been a while. It is Mercury in Scorpio, 4 cups. So, Libra, for your Earth sector, finances, wealth, security, health, this is actually a challenge for you to actually see if you can use your mental skills to actually come up with alternate ways to make an income this month. Because Hagante is a grandmaster of alchemy, and also can teach you how to do it. I know, because he was my first divine that I went to on the Goetic side. My first one. I don't know how he put up with me in the beginning. And as well, he's also known to also take water and turn it into wine and wine to water. So there's also that ability to being able to adapt and have an ebb and flow effect too with your income sources. Be flexible with it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, well, then you just flow out of it. Communications with other people, starting a new subject, learning something new, or blowing it. Not literally, you get the idea. We have we have Eight of Pentacles, Venus and Sagittarius. Okay. So when it comes to communications or learning a new subject, there is heavy focus on perfecting it and doing consistent work and work and work and work and work in it. So in other words, there's two ways it can go. If you're learning a new subject, you're going to become so heavily invested in it that you're probably going to forget that you have other things you have to do. It is what it is. Or the other option. Whenever somebody tries to communicate with you, you're going to be like, "I'm busy doing my work, go away." It's not a bad thing if you're just being so focused on your work and you're trying to get things done. Nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. But also just make sure that whatever you're working on, do take breaks. And when you're trying to communicate with others, don't be as harsh and point blank, like, "Go away, I'm working." Take a moment to catch a breather and, be civil a little bit. That's funny because me being civil with people, no, that's not going to bode well. Obstacle or the motivating force? Motivating force to the tush. Oh boy. Guess what's back from the last read? Oh boy, here comes the Art of Seduction card again, the Two of Cups. Obstacle. Careful now, don't get woozy-wooed and then you get drugged. No, that was a joke. Obstacle. Make sure you have a sense of control this month, because you might fly off the deep end. Motivating force. You actually have the skills to actually woozy-woo someone pretty good. Put them to the test, but know your limit, please. Don't overkill it, Mars and Scorpio. And now for the emotional, cheesy, woozy-woo sector. Oh boy. This is where everything gets cray. Or something like that, I don't know. Ow! This deck just gave me a paper cut. Final. Stop cutting my fingers. Rude. Oh, hi, August. So nice to see you again. So, the cheesy woozy woo sector, Page of Wands, Venus and Aries. The lovely and ever so joyful Duke Argus. So, for the emotional sector, this is actually a good month to actually spend some time with Argus to actually, learn a new language to, get all the phone numbers to catch my drift. But also, if there is actually a runaway love, this is a good month to have Argus, tell him, hey, sit, come back, because he can get runaways to come back. And he's also able to cause earthquakes, in other words, remove obstacles for you, so that way runaway can get back to you. If you're currently with somebody and there's a long distance, this is actually an indication that there's going to be a reunion coming. So now, the suggested course of action that should be carried out. I swear to Lordland to stop trying to cut my finger, deck. Suggested course of action, it is Shax. Moon in Scorpio. That is a pissed off moon placement. And we have the Queen of Sass, Queen of Swords. Well, the advice is to not put up with any BS. And most definitely, if something is trying to, intimidate you, reminded that, honey bear, do you happen to see all these pointy things? Yeah, every appendage on your body is going to be on each point. So don't try me, hun. Don't even try. In other words, make sure that you stick up for you and don't be afraid to, flaunt yourself like all these points. Yeah, I'll get to the point, and trust me, you'll be sitting on one of them. Take your pick, the middle or the far left or far right. Know your worth, know your stance, and know what you want and stick to it. And if you have to, just flip off someone and they get obnoxious. But again, be careful with the Two of Cups as the obstacle motivating force. And don't be afraid to be social this month. Come on, dude. Like I'm telling that to myself. Other than that, reunions of love and romance and all that looks nice. Oh boy. So last but not least, Scorpio. Try and make this one as good because I'm getting exhausted already. Okay, Scorpio, last one, and then we get to do the astrology technique. Secret woozy woo thingy. So, for Scorpio, the most devoted sign to the point where it's like, oh, that's creepy. Nope, you're just jealous because you don't understand it. Core focus for Scorpio. We have Card focus is Moon in Virgo, Nine of Cups. Yep. So your card focus is enjoy. Suck it all up, if you catch my drift. Not like that. I mean, fine. If you want to suck all that up, go for it. Be my guest. Bonus points if you do a flip while doing it. But really, this month, pretty much enjoy the wishes that you did get fulfilled and just indulge in it. Because it's looking like you have worked hard to finally get some of these wishes given to you. And also consider maybe doing a lot more journey work by meditation. Just like the same thing that when this card came out earlier. Everyday, 3D, Earth sector, finances, wealth, security, health, gains, assets. Oh, oh look, there's Italian again. Didn't think that was the last of me, huh, fag? Oh god. Don't do that now, dude. It's funny. Stop it. Ugh, it's nuts. So when it comes to the Earth sector, maybe you should be a little bit more on alert of like, say, if you're working with other people, kind of like just keep your eyes peeled and just trust that your assets and security and your incoming gains and money, make sure that everything on the books is adding up correctly because something may be amiss. And that's pretty much all I'm getting. The telling is not saying anything else. He's just like, that's enough. So now, when it comes to communications, learning a new subject, interactions with others, we have Night Focus, Shani, Saturn, and Sagittarius, the Hermit. This month, you might be kind of somewhat secluded. I don't blame you, because people nowadays are stupid. So for this month, consider primarily just keeping a distance and just keeping alert and of everything around you. And also revisit anything you've already learned before and pretty much straighten your ability with set skill. Revisit what you've already learned. And that's all I'm getting from that. Obstacle or the motivating to the tush force. We have, really, dude? Really? Again? Fine. This card has been following me all day. So, obstacle. Who am I kidding? It's my card. And there's also, that's Prince Seatree. Obstacle. You know, there's absolutely nothing wrong by letting yourself out there if you catch my drift. But in this way, look at it this way. The obstacle is that you have to finally being able to understand that, hey, everybody has dark points. Everybody has, oh, Lord Lanta points. It is what it is. It's that sense of trust. Motivating force. There is no such thing as something being too dark or like, oh my Lord Lanta. Oh, no. That doesn't exist. Everybody has something that everybody is scared of. But really, it's that understanding that, hey, to fully expose oneself completely, that is actually being the most brave. And because of that, you actually are able to nourish people with it. Once you understand this balance, that's when you actually have this card be in its perfect state. Oh, and by the way, that's Jupiter in Taurus, which is a placement where he's kind of confused. But still, that is a beautiful card to have as a motivating force. But now that doesn't mean to, do magic to make people expose themselves in that suggestive way. But if you want to do it, well, fine, I'll hold your beer. Just, not the face, though. Cheesy Woozy Woo Land, spirituality, the water sector. We have definitely not the Dark Magician. It is literally the Magician. Mars and Pisces. The number 23 and 93 is kind of being hit in the face as a big significance. In other words, The number 93, like if there's somebody born in 1993, or if somebody is 23 years old, they might be of significance to you. Don't look at me, I'm just reading the card, okay? When it comes to emotions and spirituality, you have the tools to actually bend it to your will and make something magical from it. Use it. If you're currently coupled with someone, this is actually a sign to actually get them on the witchcraft shenanigans. Bring them in on it. I mean, what back can go wrong? There's nothing wrong. There isn't anything in the rule book saying that, a cult can't be a team sport. There's no rule that says that can't happen. And last but not least, suggest a course of action. Oh, the par. Seven of Pentacles. Venus in Libra. Multigram placement. So the par is a merfolk. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But having the par as your suggested course of action, don't be afraid to be woozy-wooey. And if you have to take something out by drowning it or making it get infected with poisonous wounds, or, decaying their reputation, have at it. But, be strategic and be what, the Scorpio excels at, being in the shadows and then striking like an assailant. But I mean, this is probably the best one of them all, especially having my card as the obstacle and motivating force. Don't be afraid to expose yourself because that's actually being the most brave. And because of that, you actually come to realize, oh, we're all ugly in some way, shape, or form. With that in mind, there is no real ugly because we all are the same at the core. But other than that, looks good to me. But again, when you're communicating with people, don't be as open. Be a bit more reserved. And be a little bit more wary if you're working in a team setting regarding like your work or your everyday mundane job. Okay, now the astrology technique with crystals and gemstones and all that lovely jelly stuff. Okay, dope. So this technique. So all 12 signs starts with Aries all the way to Pisces. The natural zodiac belt has Aries be the ascendant, Taurus is the second house, Gemini is third, Cancer is fourth, Leo's fifth, Virgo sixth, Libra seventh, Scorpio's eighth, Sagittarius is ninth, Capricorn is 10th, Aquarius is 11th, and Pisces is the 12th. So, when it comes to, say, if you have an Aries ascendant, what planet rules Aries? Mars. Okay, so we know that you have an Aries ascendant, and now you're experiencing a headache. You don't have any aspirin on you, but there's one thing you do have. You have these rocks, actually crystals and stones. Now that you know you have these stones, you're probably thinking, great, how am I going to get rid of this headache? So because since you have an Aries ascendant, and the ascendant's also your head, you can actually then use the specific stone related to Mars. In such case would be something like bloodstone, ruby, pretty much any red stone, garnet. This is actually a star garnet, so that one could be a bit different. Carnelian, that one, maybe Unakite, probably not Unakite though. I don't think I have any other red. That one's more of a Saturnian stone. Or even vampire's eye, but anyway. So, You have a headache. So you decide, since Mars rules the blood with bloodstone, that's when you actually take the stone related to Mars, in this case it's the bloodstone. You actually then massage your head with the bloodstone. And it doesn't matter how you do it. And you can just do it with one rotation, or you can just do it for like 1 whole minute, 1 second, one rotation, or you could do it for 1 hour, just whichever works for you, that's up to you. And you just massage the part of the body that's related to where that sign's placed. And you gotta match the stone with its ruler. Now let's say, hmm, let's get a little creative with this one. Let's say you have a, oh, I got a good one. Let's say you have a Sagittarius ascendant, and now your throat is hurting. Like, I'm losing my voice. So, what what planet rules then the second house? You have Sagittarius ruling it. The next sign is Capricorn in the second. Which planet owns Capricorn? And yes, this is supposed to be interactive, so which planet owns Capricorn? It's everybody's favorite hipster. Come on now. Yes, correct. So now we would use a Saturnian stone. But now, what stones are Saturnian? Easy, nice and simple. Blue sapphire, black tourmaline, amethyst. Also, believe it or not, sodalite, snowflake obsidian, especially this one, hematite, and shungite. But for all purposes, and because Shani likes it when, we use blue sapphire, having a Sagittarius ascendant, your throat hurts. Simple. Sapphire, right in the neck. And since now Capricorn is the 10th sign, you can just go up and down 10 times, go up and down for 10 seconds, or do 10 circles 10 times, 10 minutes. As long as you're doing it for the number 10, you're all good. But don't be too hard, then you're not going to damage your jugular. Simple. Let's see here. Oh, I guess I might as well do this one too. Let's say you have now a Libra ascendant, and now your patella is hurting, and that's the kneecap. So you would then look to the 10th house, because the 10th house is your kneecaps. So you have Cancer ruling your knees. Which planet owns Cancer? Yes, Kayla's correct. It is the moon. So, now we would use a moon-related stone on the patella. It can be something as simple as Snow Quartz, Angel Light, Selenite. Except if you're going to be using selenite, make sure it doesn't have, the shards coming up, so be careful with it. It's probably best to use a smooth piece. Blue Topaz, Aqua. Let's see if I can think of any other stones. I think I just said aquamarine. Yeah. Moonstone, aqua jade. So essentially, since Cancer is now the number 4, you take your snow quartz and you just rub on both knees. Rub in for 4 seconds or massage it for 4 minutes. Probably best not to do it for 4 hours, or just do 4 circular motions and just massaging the patellas. And the science behind it is that you're actually taking the significance of that said planet. You're bringing a stone which actually is ruled by the sign, and you're bringing it some support, and you're strengthening it, making it more durable, and kind of helping it get past the little bump in the road. And now you're probably thinking, but what about Aquarius? Again, you use Saturnian stones for that. But also because since Aquarius is also that unique sign that's like, you have no idea what's going on. Aquarius has this one little, what part are you confused, Kayla? I can't believe the sun was just turning into like a red garnet. No, because, but yes, blue Capricorn does rule the knees, but since Capricorn, like say for the example, for the previous one with a Libra ascendant, Capricorn would then be ruling the 4th house, which is the heart, right here. This is now Capricorn. So in this regards, you'll be using like for example, a hematite, this is a Saturnian stone, you'd actually be using that on the heart center instead. But now say if it was Cancer, you would then use the snow quartz instead, because that sign is in that spot. And the natural zodiac having an Aries ascendant, like how that naturally is, yeah, that's where it's like Aries, if that makes sense. Because you have an Aries ascendant, Mars is ruling your head, your physical body. So something like Bloodstone would be pretty much for the head. Taurus would be 2nd house, which would be the throat, the face. Well, Gunzai. Gemini. Hands, arms, shoulders, phalanges. Oh boy. I gotta find a greenstone. Oh, that one. Mm-hmm. And the thing is that you have to look at the signs ruling each houses. You have to look at the ascendant and see where the other signs end up. But like for Mercury, green adventuring, that would be for like the natural for the 3rd house, ruling Gemini. It would be the hands, arms, shoulders, lungs, like rib cage right here. Cancer for moon would be the heart center here. Oh boy, Leo. Okay. Leo, good one would be Tiger's Eye. and that one's pretty much where the diaphragm's at, like right there. And then from that, we then go to Virgo, which pretty much would be green adventuring again, or even if you want to get extra fancy, you would probably use something like green jade, and then you would just massage your stomach. Ooh, you can have something between your legs make loud noises. I'm so impressed. Oh, you fancy, huh? Hope your tires fell off mid-drive. Obnoxious. And then for like Virgo, you'd be massaging your stomach area. But now Libra. Oh boy. We're all ladies here, and for another stone example, for a Venus stone, Morganite, or I like to call it the stone that's also named Morgan Freeman. So, Libra rules. Okay, this is gonna be awkward. Yeah. So, first house is head, second house is face and throat, third house is hands, arms, shoulders, rib cage, fourth is the heart, fifth is the diaphragm right here, sixth is the stomach and intestine area, seventh house is essentially, okay, this is gonna look a little weird, but like right here, pretty much where the hips are and down a little bit, that's seventh. Eighth house is that part and the back part. Sagittarius is the thighs all the way to the kneecap, front and back. 10th house is the patella. Oh, that was not a good idea. Aquarius is all the way from the shin all the way to the ankle. And Pisces is the feetsies and the toesies. But for Libra, naturally, like for Morganite, you would pretty much just massage like to the hip, down a little bit, go back up, across the way, down again, back up, like that. And you would do that approximately 7 times. I've actually used this technique with a few people, and they've actually had really dangerously good results. And I just did it on the whim, to be honest. Whipped it. And if you want to get extra fancy, the nakshatra rulers, if you want to be extra fancy by degree, you can do that, but that's making it too difficult. No, I did not invent this because there's actually in Vedic astrology, there's actually using gemstones for remedial purposes. This is actually taking a concept from that. So technically, no, I did not come up with this. As much as I would like to say, yeah, I came up with this, no, I can't. I can't do that. Mm-mm. It'd be nice if I could say that, but I didn't. And it's all technically it's all theory. So yeah, if you look up Vedic astrology gemstone remedies and you actually do the research there, you actually see that wow, this has actually been handed down by the books. Well, having K2 in the Lugna and then Rahu in the seventh house. But K2 in the Lugna makes somebody be all, why am I here? I've already mastered being myself. Meh with me. But also depends on if he's being aspected and what sign it is. If it's Capricorn, K2 would be okay. K2 would be fine. Because K2's like, I'm just so meh about myself. But I have to have self-control. I can't be meh. I'll just go within, just stands perfectly still. That's okay doing Capricorn. And Rahu and Cancer in 7th. Oh my lord, land to talk about being a mama to everything. Oi! Mother hen is all over the place. Now, it's not a bad thing, that's just the placement. Someone or the native is becoming like an obsessive like soccer mom. Well, K2 in the Lugna does give that sense of detachment to the self, and the physical body may appear to be like the body below the head may actually be a bit more larger than the head. It does have that potential to kind of have that offset. And the mind does kind of have a bit of a, what am I doing here? I feel lost. I feel meh being here. The mind constantly thinks about that. But then it depends on the sign. It all comes down to the sign. Hold on, I have a call coming. Be right back.